This week's DMU and I podcast is all about our culture in one team. So if you want to find out what DM's all about, why are we what we are, whether you are interested in working with us or whether you're a client, listen to this podcast. Actually, I think you get the true representation of what the DM1 team is all about. Hi there, and welcome to the DMU and I. So today we're talking about DM and its culture, the one team. But I've got Mike Lee here, who heads up our power generation team. I've got Jo Middleton, who heads up our resource and recruitment team. And I've got James Irving, who heads up our DM Way team, which we'll explain in a bit more detail. We are today looking at what is the culture at DM and the one team. Just to kind of kick things off, what I'll do first is I think we'll go around the room and you can all chat about what you do at DM now, and then we can get to the nitty gritty. So I will start with James because people wonder what on earth is the DM way. Do you want to explain that isn't actually your full-time job, but just how long have you been at DM? What's your role now? Do a bit of an explanation about that.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me on the cast, James. So I started DM nearly 9 years ago. Started as a land officer, assisting a surveyor on a range of different projects, primarily focused on providing access and liaison with landowners. I then moved around the business a little bit, ended up moving to the transport infrastructure sector and working on HS2 for most of my career to date, which has been really exciting. And then the last year or so, I've moved over to lead our network rail team and taken on DM Way, which if I described the DM Way in a quick soundbite, it would be creating a community and culture that all of our employees can be part of, irrespective of role, level, or discipline across the business.
Thank you very much. Jo, let's go for you next.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So I'm Jo. I head up the talent acquisition team. Really excited to be on the podcast. Essentially, I'm responsible for going out there and bringing top talent into our business at all levels. So people who are more experienced, people who are coming through our sort of early careers programs. So that includes all of our future talent, apprentices, graduates, work experience, placements, right through to the more senior end of the business. So it's going out there to attract and find top talent.
And Mike has been here a long time. Where do we find you, Mike?
You found me on a farmyard a very, very long time ago. I've been with the business 17 years, so I've seen it through that evolution from just like 5 of us in a tiny office through to 500 and something or wherever we are today. My job currently is heading up our power generation team, and culture is really sort of at the key of how we run our operational teams. It's really important for us from a sort of a recruitment perspective, but equally, I think our clients really value the culture we have at Dalcour Maclaren and how that shows up in the day-to-day delivery of their projects. So culture, community are really, really important to me in the delivery of the work we do for our clients.
Brilliant. Good. Okay, right. So a lot of companies have values, have their cultures, and they stick them on the wall, and that's about all they do. Do we do that? Mike first, go on.
I would say absolutely not. We do have them on our wall just to remind us, but really we always try to live and breathe those values. And I find sometimes I'm in a meeting, I look up at them and it just helps me to refocus on, what is important. For me, the one team value sort of encapsulates all of those values. So I would say absolutely, we live and breathe our values at Dalcour Maclaren.
And in terms of our values, again, and maybe some examples would be good on this, so it's great. We're internally here talking about our values, all good for us. Mm-hmm. But why do you guys think it's helped with our success? And what I mean by that is help with our clients and all that kind of stuff. How do you think that actually this culture and one team mentality we have has helped us do what we do on a day-to-day basis?
I think bringing it to life is really important, and that's what we have focused on for a long time now, and we're still focusing on it as we look forward. What I mean by that is actually, you look at most organisations that put generic words on the wall. Well, actually, what they don't do is verbalise and articulate them, and that's where we go beyond. So we go, right, we have our values, we link them with our vision as an organization, and then we explain to people, well, this is where you are, this is where you fit within this structure in this system, and we set them on their way to deliver their work. Yeah. The two jump out things for me are pride and progression. Well, actually, you just talk about them on their own and we stick them on a wall. They mean nothing. But if you say we have pride, we believe in progression in the way that we operate, we suddenly turn those nouns into verbs and they mean something. And before you know it, we're rocking and rolling and we're implementing them in how we deliver our day job. And that inextricably links with the way our clients see us operating in the field. And that's the key bit, is culture and community are just what happens in our four walls within Dalcour Maclaren. We translate them and take them forward to work with our clients, and we interlink them.
From an external perspective, when we're in a market, there's a real war for talent out there, and actually being able to articulate the values to the external market is so important to attract the right people in. And quite a lot of the time when people in my team kind of go out and about and talk to our different kind of our surveyors, our ecologists, all people around the business and say, why did you come to DM? Like the competitor space is so fierce. And often they will say it's the one team. It is the one team ethos. And that is the differentiator. And that's a really powerful thing. And I sort of say to them, what do you mean? Like, why is it? What do you mean by that? And I think it goes back to what James was saying about the individual contributions in lots of our kind of competitor firms is so fierce, and everything's about what the individual is going to produce, that actually coming to DM, it's a completely fresh approach, and they feel those pressures are kind of released and they can actually realise their potential in other ways and lean on other people and play to their strengths. And I think that one team is sort of the real differentiator when it comes to talking to kind of external candidates.
And I think, Joe, you are in a tough... You got a tough gig.
Tough gig.
Yeah, obviously, going to tell you that, aren't I? But yeah, you got a tough gig.
Yeah.
And that, like you just said, the professional services, wherever you're at the moment, it's tough finding the people. And how do you make that whole one team thing real? Because all these companies will go out with the banners. And say, oh yeah, we've got this, we've got great culture. I mean, some admit they don't have any culture, but anyway, that's another thing. But yeah, how do you make it real?
You've got to bring it to life. I think we try to use sort of really great assets to kind of bring that to life. So we partner a lot with marketing to put those assets out there. Our whole kind of piece we put out is called Life at DM, and it is about bringing DM to life for the external market and showing that through the work we do with community and charity and our socials, but also kind of our projects, and actually showcasing how amazing the projects are that we work on, and how the teams have worked together to deliver those projects. I think that's sort of one of the main things that the external audience can be like, wow, they've actually delivered, this project, and they've worked on all different geographies, and it's kind of really stimulating work and interesting stuff. So it's kind of trying to bring that to life when we're having those conversations.
And linked to that question, and this is for Mike and James really, is back in the day, and I'm talking probably not that long ago, we were very much a solely surveying company. We would I need another senior surveyor. If I remember, we used to hear that on a daily basis, right? Well, I know people are probably still saying that, but anyway, if you're a senior surveyor, yeah, we'd love to have you. But anyway, no, but we want lots of different people now. And I guess, how have you two seen that? Because you've both been here a considerable time. You've seen the change. How have you seen the business change in terms of the types of people we've got in the business, and what effect has that had on our culture?
I'll go first. I think as of, recently, we've expanded our service offering, and that has inevitably brought in more people. But I'll bring it back to the surveying thing, because that's where I'm sort of more aware, in that we traditionally recruited from a handful of universities, and we were taking a lot of graduates. But it did create, from a sort of diversity perspective, it was quite limiting. And we pushed ourselves. Last year, we went and we spoke at 17 universities.
We did. We took our coffee van on the road and engaged with loads of different universities we haven't done previously.
Exactly. So we kind of pushed ourselves to sort of widen our span. So we're bringing graduates, we're bringing apprentices in from sort of different backgrounds, but we are also looking at how we deliver these projects. And and we sort of have a mindset of the right person, the right role, and the right client sort of thing. Probably got that wrong. It's but it's about finding people with the right skill sets to deliver the job to the best of their ability, essentially. So that inevitably means that you broaden your resource pool, you widen that resource pool. So it's changed significantly since.
And you're right, Mike, because what that's actually done is that's changed the way we think.
Yeah.
So the answer is actually we've expanded our pool of people we're working with. That's helped us expand our thinking as an organisation.
Oh my God. Yeah.
How we delivering projects. I remember being a liaison officer on HS2 and going, if we just get in another 10 more me's, we're not going to achieve the service that the client wants.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to deliver it. And we stopped and we went, what do we need? We don't know. Okay, what? Let's challenge ourselves. Maybe we need this type of person. And before you know it, we're now talking about a project management pathway tailored for what our clients need. For surveyors and project managers working hand in glove together, delivering infrastructure and utility projects.
We got a wider skill set than perhaps we had before, which is kind of quite exciting. But bringing that back then to the culture and the one team, we now have a very different one team than we did 10 years ago.
Very different.
And what do you think the advantages are now in terms of the evolving one team now? Because it's still evolving. We've got lots more evolving to do, but given the advantages you think we've now got?
I think there are advantages and disadvantages to both elements, but actually with every disadvantage, there's an opportunity. So I think as you look at it, the advantages are, well, as our clients grow and expand, and as we grow and expand, well, we're more likely to build relationships with them. And the answer is we've got someone in the business that generally will get on with someone client side, irrespective of what the project is. So flip that, back to Mike's getting people in the right place at the right time. We know that's critical to delivering a project successfully. The challenge to that is as we expand and we have people from different backgrounds and different educational backgrounds, want different things out of work. That for us is a challenge because we have to think, well, how do we make sure they want to stay with us? How do we make an environment where they want to come into work every day? And actually that comes back to everything we're doing about, well, what is fun? Well, fun means different things to different people. How do we make working inclusive and people come together? And the key bit I've found is making people realize they can achieve more together rather than one person burying themselves under a mountain of paperwork or spreadsheets or whatever it might be. As they realize, as they look around themselves and go, actually, I can deliver this with these other people and we can share in the benefits of that.
Okay. And then, Jo, the one for you here. We talked about the different types of people getting in.
Yeah.
Not just in terms of skills, but also generations.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've got lots of different generations coming into the business, and I think being an old git that I am, obviously I talk to a lot of other old gits of my same age, and there's sometimes I feel people are very quick to jump on the bandwagon and slag off any generation that isn't their own, because obviously, they know best. But actually, for me, I think it's a real challenge for us as a business to understand the generations.
Yeah, absolutely, and what they're looking for.
And what they're looking for. What do you think we need to do as a business or are doing as a business that helps that? Because without the next generation, I can't remember what generation rolled out.
Well, Generation Z was kind of where we are now, but we'll be looking at Alpha over the next years. So, yeah, I think it is about kind of what we have done in sort of challenging the normal way of doing things. I think we need to really continue doing that in what has been perhaps more of a traditional industry approach. So when we think about how we attract people, we might think, we'll go up to a careers fair with a brochure and a pen and sort of hope for the best. But I really think that, there's a space for a careers fair, but is that going to be the answer to the next generation? I don't think doing the same thing is going to continue to attract the best people. So I think we need to be thinking outside the box of how we market DM, how we get out and about, how we sort of make our brand known and how we engage with people. So, doing podcasts, doing things on TikTok, thinking about new platforms to engage young people, and thinking about those people that perhaps don't even think about sort of surveying or the environmental sectors as sort of places they see themselves or aspire to be in. So we think about doctors and lawyers, and we think about sort of those as being aspirational careers. I think we really need to sort of get people thinking about our industry earlier.
And do you not think we've got a real opportunity now there? Because, I mean, you talk about doctors and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, you think, oh my God, what a career that'd be. But actually, we're on the cusp here of hoping to help the UK and wherever else we suddenly pop up.
Absolutely.
Achieve net zero.
Absolutely.
Real opportunity for us to get that focus in.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Like, there's so much going on. And actually, when you think about what DM does and how much sort of it touches in life and what we're making happen, I think we've got an opportunity to really bring that to life for young people. And the more young people are engaging with net zero and climate change and sustainability and all these kind of buzzwords and that are really important, we're doing so much of that. We'd love to get to a point where we're drowning in applications because, everyone wants to come work at DM because actually the work we're delivering is changing the face of the planet, and actually meaningful work and purposeful work is actually sort of one of the most sort of sought after reasons that people are looking for a new job or finding the right role.
That's how we get them in, right? Okay, great.
Yeah.
And, watch this space. There'll be thousands of applications, I'm sure, right?
Let's hope so.
But more importantly is then actually, what are we offering these people?
Yeah.
Because once they get here, you can sell a dream, but if the dream isn't reality when you get through the door, you'll soon sugar off.
Absolutely. And that's, I guess, where it goes back to what James was saying about actually bringing those values to life in the day-to-day and connecting the values of the people and actually creating that community where whatever life stage you're at, whether you're actually entering the career or perhaps you're changing your career, and there's going to be an opportunity for you at DM in some form because of the nature of the changing skills.
We've had great success with that, haven't we? You look at people that come on board at Dalcour Maclaren as graduates, or even before that, as apprentices or placement students, and they come back and they've got a whole career here. You look at placement students that are now associate directors in this organisation, but also we've had great responses where we've had people that have changed careers.
Yeah.
If you'd have said to someone like me, would I ever work on the projects I've worked on? Or be involved in that? Never, ever in my life, and actually, because I didn't realize it was here, I think there's a huge piece about we've got to explain what we do. It's absolutely critical. Everyone's in that Amazon world of click and it arrives tomorrow. Not without a road. Yeah. The answer is, well, we're building projects, not without a railway that gets everything from the port to the distribution yard, not without the power that generates the railway locomotives. It's all interlinked and it's critical. We're so removed from it, and actually we just need to talk about it.
And what are then about the actual experience, in terms of, and this comes back to the culture and the one team environment which we've created here. What is it that makes a new starter actually go, oh my God, I've got this place. This is different. This is not like others.
I think the way I've personally seen that come to life is through the whole sort of like the autonomy and the entrepreneurship and the accountability piece, and actually feeling like from the start you're respected and trusted to deliver what you've been sort of brought in to do, and actually, being sort of gifted that trust, you can really make things happen. So I think there's a real opportunity for people to come in and actually make an impact with their own contributions.
I think for me, Dalcour is quite a sort of caring organisation. I'd like to think it's really welcoming and people spend the time to get to know each other. And I think it's just so important. Once you understand someone, you understand what their strengths, their weaknesses are, you can then structure their development to really enable them to be the best they can absolutely be. I think Dalcour is really, really fantastic at that, and that piece about understanding people and then telling that.
I think you hit on a good point there with the whole development side of things. I think we're fortunate as a business. We're growing. Lots of opportunities ahead of us that we're going to have to try and cope with, deal with, which is a great position to be in. But as the business grows, we obviously want to develop our team along the same timeline as our business grows. I wonder whether you could just talk to me about the DM Academy.
Certainly from a future talent perspective, with the support we offer to young people to get them through their qualifications and their routes to chartership, the DM Academy are fundamental to make sure that those gateways and those milestones are hit. And one of the biggest hits, I think, at DM is sort of the big graduate training days that we put on, and we always get such great feedback, and we translate that into kind of our pass rates and all those other good bits. So for those young people to have not only the soft skills and that sort of training, but also their regular touch points to get them to their qualification.
I think that's, for me, the point is that training isn't all technical. Yes, technical is very important, but actually there's a lot of behavioural development that goes on. And I think if you come in here, you get it all, don't you?
Learning through osmosis, we talk about all the time, don't we, Mike, is invaluable. You know, you sit next to someone who's walked that road, trod that path. Well, actually, you get so much experience from that, and you can't put a value on that. But it's also creating the balance. You know, we combine that with flexible working. You combine that with practical work on site, exposure to clients. That's how you learn. You know, but also I'd flip that into creating a safe environment where people can make mistakes in the right place at the right time with the right guidance and the right mentorship. Because actually that's critical to growing as a person and developing your professional self. And then you look at the people who are training our emerging stars. Well, actually, they're people that are tried and tested. We support them in their learning and development as well, their professional development as they continue, whether they be going on and mentoring and training others in-house or whether they're doing that externally as well. So I think as you look at that, when people qualify, they then, well, what if they want to be that trusted professional? They want to be that industry subject matter specialist. Why not do it here?
What about for our clients? Why would they be interested or bothered about our one team? What is it you think that actually that they get? Because we get lots of positive feedback about it. Give me some examples.
I think for me, we work hard as a business. We're not broken down into offices or something like that. We really believe in this one team ethos, and we're constantly putting on events to try and mix it up and ensure that someone who starts at Dalcour Maclaren knows as many people as possible within the business. Now, why do we do that? Well, when you've got a problem, you need to know who you can pick the phone up to, or when you've got a new job and you need to put some people into it, you need to know who we have within the business who is suitable to deliver that project to a high level. So, you know, whilst they may think that they are socializing, they're also finding out a huge amount about each other. And, you know, as you go through the business and you build up that network, it's invaluable.
I think I've got a live example happened 10 days ago where we've got new intake of new starters, and I thought, I've got a client coming. I'm not going to be in the office when they arrive. And then I was thinking, I'm not going to message. And as I walked in through the door, I could see a new starter greeting my client, taking them over to get a coffee. And I thought, hang on a minute, I know that person's been in the business less than 10 days. I wonder how that conversation's going. And they're great, but, just be talking. Yeah, it's great. No, we had a real good chat. And well, the answer was, and afterwards, I remember saying to him, I said, thanks very much. You nailed it there, because I was worried they're going to turn up and I wasn't going to be here. Oh, no, it was, you explained to us at the beginning, we make everyone feel welcome. Yeah. Well, you apply just that little tiny example to the way we deliver a project out on the ground. You know, the answer is it's not stopping and starting, it's continuation of a service, and that starts and stops with our culture, and it's continued. That's the truth of the matter, in my opinion, whether it be in how we engage with stakeholders, how we talk and report risks and project-related matters to clients, right the way to how do we celebrate the successes, and how do we deal and pick up the pieces when we have challenges.
And I think just leading on from that, I'd be interested in your thoughts on this. And again, some examples maybe too, you know, we're here offering professional services, whether it be geomatics, EMP or land and property. You know, what do we do differently to others? We're offering a professional service, but we offer, I believe, and truly you can see it on the ground, that we actually deliver those services in a very different way to others.
We deliver them through teamwork. I feel is our sort of USP about how we break the projects up. We allocate them to the right people. So we're focused on sort of efficiency, and then quality of service, I think, is an important sort of factor.
Ownership. Well, I think for me, if you take it to a granular form, actually, you speak to anyone on a project delivering it to a client, they don't see themselves as separate. They are one team with that client, whether you're on a project with EKFB, Thames Water, Severn Trent, you know, Flotation Energy. Doesn't matter. The answer is we are stood there shoulder to shoulder with them.
With the client.
With the client.
Yeah.
Not behind the client, not in front of the client. We're there together delivering the project. And that's ownership. And with that comes pride. And I truly think that's what makes us different.
I hear a lot of feedback around the business about the sort of the human approach as well, and how human it is. It sounds silly because we're all human, but actually I think at DM the client does experience a more human approach, and actually that can-do attitude and that approach to sort of service delivery. And I think that really sort of stands out. It feels like perhaps there's less red tape at DM. Like we will get it done for the client in the right way, and give them that sort of really personalised human service.
I think it's rare that you'll get a no out of anyone at Dalcour Maclaren. It might be a not now or a how can we overcome that challenge, but we have that can-do attitude.
I was just going to, one last sort of thing is the utilities and infrastructure sector is growing massively at the moment. And I think what we are doing as a business is we're bringing on the next generation of young professionals. There's no one else out there really doing what we are doing. And, when we look forward over the next sort of 5 years, we're gearing this business up to keep pace with those clients. So, we're taking massive steps forward. We're really engaging with schools, with universities, but also we need to sort of engage with, we talk about sort of careers for life and things like that. We need to really sort of, find other sources of employees.
Absolutely, Mike. Yeah.
Returning from maternity, people looking for second careers, all of this type of thing.
Absolutely. Just picking what you said there, we have an extremely brilliant proportion of future talent in this business. So we have 27% earn and learn, which is amazing. When I go out and sit in rooms with other kind of competitive people in construction, other companies, other firms, they don't have anywhere near that future talent number. So it's really something that we're proud of. But it's also thinking about sort of other avenues to bring people in, and we've had people from ex-forces coming into the business. We need to think about returning parents. We need to think about all those different kind of types of talent and how we can really make sure that they have a place at DM, and they do. There's so much going on here. There is something for everybody, and it's just how we bring them in.
People are going to be what DM is all about, and therefore what's really, really important is we maintain that culture. It's what makes us what we are. What do you see on our culture as the next sort of challenges?
I think there's two key avenues to it. One is how do we make culture engaging at an office level? And then for us, as we expand our office presence in different locations, is how do we make those people feel part of our wider community? And I think we've got a couple of different agendas that we're looking at the moment on those matters right as we speak right now. But the current feeling is actually we need to make time and space for people to be able to do things in office, in the hub, and which makes our locations a hub, a reason to come in, a reason to engage. And then the other piece is actually how do we still do our big ticket items? We get good feedback about our Christmas parties and our DM conference, and that those have a place, but also making sure actually an example is taking time out at lunchtime and playing board games with people you don't normally work with. There's huge value in that. It's tiny. It's absolutely tiny. But you start doing that, make it scalable, and you suddenly start making the archaeologists talk to the land officers, talk to the surveyors that they wouldn't normally work with on a day-to-day basis. Well, the proof in the pudding is that we're then more resilient when we come against the challenge client side. Jo and I might be polar opposites, but actually we might love playing chess.
Yeah, we don't.
I just think just to ask you a question on future, because obviously we've talked about recruitment, all that kind of stuff. But in terms of our 5-year strategy, and from your perspective, just to keep you on your toes, obviously, our visions have changed in terms of the kind of skill sets we need, where they're coming from. Where do you see DM heading in that direction?
Yeah, I think, we've done so much great stuff already with diversifying our sort of future talent streams and our programs, and where, we fish from in terms of getting, new talent. But I think that will expand even more. We're going to be looking at sort of data science and AI and this sort of these new kind of skills that we really need to understand now where we're going to get those skills from, so that in 5 years' time, we've got all of those skills and the business is fully equipped. So it's really going to be a busy kind of next few months for me and my team to understand, okay, the business needs needs these skills. Where are we going to find those from, and how are we going to actually position DM as a brand that attracts those skills as well? Because, typically as a chartered surveying firm, you might not see the connection between that and data science and innovation. And actually there's so much innovation going on in the geomatics team, and we need to really kind of position the brand in the right places to get that engagement and actually raise the brand profile so that we are attracting kind of people that never would have thought about DM or never would have thought about us in that way.
When I go to speaking schools, it's amazing how many people have no idea of this sector at all.
Yeah.
They just have no awareness of it. You go, well, where are the lights coming from? Where's the water coming from? And then you talk about net zero and people go, oh my God. There's a huge piece in just brand and awareness of the opportunities available in our sector, I think.
100%. And I think the way we'll do that as well is through that sort of belonging piece that comes from the internal culture and the pride to kind of wear the DM badge and be out and about. And I heard a story that you said, James, about a client had seen someone at the train station in a DM jumper or something, and had gone up to that person and said, oh my gosh, you work for DM. Your service is brilliant. And I just want to say you were great. And I thought that really stuck with me, that story, because I thought that's so great. And if we can foster that, if we can really get the sort of DM brand out there and get everyone really proud of it and wearing it and sporting it, then people will start to know us and recognize us. And it's all word of mouth. It's all through people, and we'll hopefully start entering kind of new markets and sort of new skills, hopefully, from doing that.
Just to sort of finalise, last kind of question to each of you, right? What is it about the culture that makes you jump out of bed with excitement in the morning and come into work?
Being part of our community and culture is not about where you went to school or university, what you wear, or what you do on a weekend. If you have pride, you want to deliver projects in the way that we deliver them in terms of our values and our beliefs, and you want to just get into the mix and be part of it, and we're here.
I think for me, it's going back to what I said earlier about sort of like that feeling of kind of being able to make an impact and sort of like have that autonomy to be like, this is great, and like working with amazing people across the business to like make things happen. And I think it's really, DM's a place where it's really in your gift to make something happen. And for me, that's really exciting, because you look ahead and you think there's so much that we can be doing and delivering and involving everybody across the business. And anything you put out there in DM, everyone's always kind of excited about, and there's enthusiasm behind it. And, there is. It's such a nice place where ideas are welcomed and championed and actually put into practice. So you can really make a difference.
For me, I think it is all about the people and just seeing people come in at the start and then progress through the business. I believe that with good leadership, with good community, you can just bring in the absolute best out of people. And you see it day to day. You see some of these graduates come in, and then you see them at senior surveyor, and then you see them at associate director. And it's just so satisfying. I get a huge amount of satisfaction from that. So that makes me happy.
I'm surprised, Mike, by your answer to that.
Why?
Because I thought somewhere in there will be a mention of food.
Yeah, it's also there's food. That's pretty sad.
That's great. I mean, I think just for me, so surmising, it says, why am I still here 21 years later? Yeah. For DM for me, and why I still get out of bed to come to work is it's really it is a really exciting place to come. It's full of really nice people. We have a real fun time, and we're successful. And I think that for me is what makes it all. Thank you massively for your input today. Been really interesting chat. Yeah, we'll come back and have an update.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, guys.